Miss me? A better you starts today. Because I missed you. I missed you a lot. And this channel. You know why I missed this channel? Because I realized after taking 4 months off for reasons that I cannot go into. I need this, baby! Do you? If you've been a long time watcher, have you noticed that over the last 4 months of not having someone drill in your head over and over again, write down your goals, read a book, stop going on TikTok. If you don't have that, guess what? You just go on TikTok. Ah! By the way, if you are addicted to TikTok and this channel, self-help channel doesn't help you at all, I'm also starting up Friendly Geordie's TikTok because I've just realized, like, hey, you know, if other people are selling cigarettes, why not me, yeah? But also on top of that, don't do it. Now, I'm very glad that we're back to very cancelling themselves out messages via Jordan Shanks, the channel. If you are a new subscriber, I just want you to know hello. But I think that it would probably be best in everyone's interest if I just address the old subscribers and pretend that there is nobody new watching this channel at the moment, because that is probably going to get you a better idea of what we are trying to do here, which is make a better you. It's in the slogan. I'm selling the posters at some point. Hey, if you have been off for the last 4 months and you haven't been engaging in any self-help material, I just want you to think about that for a second. How has that impacted your life? Because I'll tell you what has happened with mine. We're going to be totally honest here. This is going to be a bubble of help, because here's what happened to me. I noticed that my mood was down a lot. I noticed that I was a lot more jaded. I naturally think about revenge on people that I hate all the time anyway, but I thought about it a hell of a lot more. And why? Why? Because this channel, the reason that I do this channel, half of it's for you, half of it's for me. And this is one of the big self-help philosophies. That's a good deal. Let's just be honest about this, yeah? I think that the best relationships are the ones where it's like, no, I'm trying to give you something, and in return, you help me out, right? And you just sitting there watching this is helping me out immensely, because all of these things just start to derail. Now, there's one thing that I will say. In those 4 months, I could have been doing more than I was, always. In any scenario that you are ever in, never think, oh, I'm so busy, I'm doing it right. No, there is always going to be a way that you are doing everything that is inefficient, that is lazy, and you could fix those things immediately. And what a self-help channel does, having someone sitting there and reminding you over and over again, yeah, I'm really glad that you're watching this, that already puts you ahead of 99% of the population that think, no, I'm perfect as I am. You're not that. Good for you. But you always need the reminders, don't you? You should know that anyway, because you are watching this and you has been off for 4 months, so I don't know why I'm just embedding something into you that you are very well aware of. But I just want to say to everybody that has been watching this channel over the years, thank you a lot. You have no idea how much you helped me out. This is the thing that has kept me sane. I'm telling you now, it is doing this channel, because there is always this grand purpose that is put into your head every time you start thinking about it. Because at the end of the day, really, what is self-help? Self-help is, let's try and uncover who you are. You know the old example of this clay Buddha? And everybody just thought, wow, that's a big Buddha. Anyway, it turns out one monk that was brushing it one day noticed, hey, there's a little glint of gold there. And so then he started doing it through the whole Buddha, and guess what? It was just all made of gold. And they didn't know for like 700 years. Because what happened is, I can't remember who, the Chinese or whatever, were invading Thailand. Mongols, who knows, some cunts. And then the monks that were there thought, oh, fuck. And so they started putting clay over the Buddha so that they wouldn't steal it. And it worked really, really well. That, I think, is a fairly good metaphor, apart from the fact that you're not 700, 800 years old. Probably not. I don't know. I don't know your life story. It's a fucking long life story if it is. But the first part of it does work. Don't you think? I think that the first part of that works really well for what we're trying to do here, which is that we are trying to uncover the best version of you and trying to get you to stick to it, because we know that you can. We know that there's always room for improvement in whatever you are endeavoring upon. And when you stop thinking about that for a second, immediately the progress stops. That is the bad inverse of self-help, I think, which is that once you start getting on it, it's like, oh, okay. It's like learning that I have to brush my teeth. I have to do it every single day of my life. And so I am sorry about the fact that I wasn't able to post for that long. I do apologize immensely for it. However, if you are back, thank you so much for doing so. If you are new to this channel, that is what we are aiming to do for you. On this channel anyway. On the other channel, we're kind of just sitting there and bitching about it. We're like, oh, there's things in the world that can't do anything about. But this is why I like this channel so much more. Or at least the audience. Because this was one of the big black pills. One of the big realizations that I had when I had time to sit down and actually think about where my life is going. Because I've just been so busy for the last decade, as you can tell. But when I had time to sit there and reflect for a moment, which I suppose is something that I can be sitting there and saying, oh, it was a waste of time. There was this one realization that I had, which is that, my God, do people just watch the news purely to complain? You think that people always say, I'm watching the news to be informed. Maybe, but you are watching the news to be informed about who you can bitch about. That's it. And that's why everybody goes into different channels, yeah? So everybody that watches Sky News, what do they blame the world on? Oh, it's all the soy boys in the SJWs, That's their go-to scapegoat. What about when you go to YouTube? Most of the time it's like, it's the system, whatever that system might be. It's capitalism, it's the patriarchy, whatever. And you can tell, there will be a bunch of people out there just being like, political correctness is destroying the world, patriarchy is destroying the world. Those questions will be in the comments as I speak right now, yeah? What I don't like about that is, okay, however true this might be, and there is definitely truth to all of those things. I do think that if you focus on anything enough, you're going to find elements of it where it's like, yeah, no, that is absolutely tangible in the world. Yeah? However, what can you do about it? Especially if you do become one of these disgusting gremlins online that sits there and is like, I'm contributing by just bitching on Reddit all day. No, you're just a waste of resources. That's what you are. You're an insufferable cunt. People that actually do affect the world, what are they? They are competent. They are doers. That's what I like about self-help. That's what I like about this channel in specific. I don't know, whichever of those two words, is the apostrophe or not. Look, the reason that I like you specifically is because I know, just by the fact that you are consuming this content and that it resonates with you, you are a doer. If you are a doer, you're doing something in the world. And as a result of doing things in the world, you are affecting change. Not only that, you're having a good quality of life. And the simple fact that you are focusing on this, I can guarantee that you are going to be a lot more valuable and helpful to the people that are around you, as opposed to dragging them down like a lot of people do in life, right? Say that you're around a druggo, classic example. What do? They drag everyone down with them, don't they? Because they steal off those people. They introduce them to drugs. They're kind of just generally abusive because they're a fucking druggo. Yeah? I think that self-help is the exact opposite of that. I think that self-help is the drug that makes you a better person, that lifts people up, that when you're around people and you see they're down, you try and raise their potential because it's just natural to you. You are getting those points instilled into your mind as opposed to sitting there and being like, fuck, what are these other dimensions? Someone interrupted my train of thought. That's it. I'm going to fucking build him. Fuck, I feel like hiring a hooker. Yeah, it is different. It makes you think on things like, thinking further into the future. A massive advantage of self-help. This is all just for new people that are watching, by the way. A massive advantage of self-help is that it gives you the tools to think about your life, not in the next day, not in the next week, but in the next 10 years. It gives you the advantage that China has over America, really, which is that America has term plans. China has 50-year plans. That is the difference. How much more advanced do you think that you're going to be in 10 years if you're thinking in a 10-year trajectory? Well, I can guarantee you, because I've done it. I have lived the experience. What I wrote down 10 years ago is exactly the life that I'm living now. And my only regret about all of that is, why didn't I think bigger? Why the fuck didn't I think bigger? Every time you do, because it's like, the same amount of time passes, and really all your results are going to be as a result of what you were focusing on in that time period. What was I focusing on in that time period? Australian politics. What did I want to become? I wanted to become like an Australian identity. And then when I came on fucking The Chase, and it was just like, YouTube superstar is also known as Jordan, and then the brain on there just goes, Shanks, and knows that I was just like, yep, done it, made it, absolutely made it. It was a highlight of my life. and it was exactly what I had written down. Exactly what I had written down. There's a magic to it. And the magic, I think, mostly is just focusing your brain on the right tasks. Getting really clear about what you actually want to achieve. Because most people, and this is a phrase that we use all the time here, most people go through life in a walking haze. They are going through life and it's kind of foggy, and then they bump into something. It's like, oh, my friend gave me a job. Bump into something, oh, that girlfriend, found him on Tinder. Yeah. Their life is just this higgledy-piggledy random events. And look, maybe you might want that. Maybe you do. But I can tell you this. It is not conducive to success. It is not conducive to getting what you want out of life. You know, Mr. Beast, for instance, what did he want? He wanted to be the world's greatest YouTuber. And I'm sure that there's a bunch of YouTubers out there that think, I want to be the world's greatest YouTuber. And I'll tell you this. I know from experience, right? You do not become the world's greatest YouTuber unless your goal is to become the world's greatest YouTuber. There is too much competition. There is too many people that are focusing on that point and trying to think about, I'm going to be the world's greatest YouTuber. So, yeah, they're not going to be, all of them, obviously, because there can only be one. But all the people that are focusing on, I'm going to be the world's greatest YouTuber, unless they're insane and incompetent, which I imagine that a lot of them are, they're going to be a hell of a lot higher in that specific goal, aren't they? Aren't they? And here's the other thing. If you look at Mr. Beast's life, that man is just a walking algorithm. The other ones, I think, probably have diluted goals. They don't really seriously want that. They want different things. There's something else that they're going after. Maybe it's just accolade, or maybe it's just connection with other humans because they're too autistic to do it. Yeah? There might be those kinds of things that are happening there. And so when they get that level of acceptance, they're kind of good with it. Or they're just trying to achieve other goals. They don't have that one linear task. But I'm telling you now that the more specific that you get with those goals, the far more likely it is that you are going to achieve them. I think that the studies on it were that it was something along the line, it was either 100 or 1,000 times more likely if you start writing your goals down in the morning. I know that I've said this 1,000 times to the old people, but to the new people, I'm just trying to tell you, like, please. And I've said this the last time that I was gone, and I could actually explain why I was gone because it was pretty damn obvious. But please, if you don't subscribe to this channel, please subscribe to a self-help channel that resonates with you. Do not go back to going through life in a haze. The reason that I am saying that is because that last 4 months, you could feel it. You could feel it. Now, I am somebody that actually tries to practice self-help. Another thing that we're always talking about here is you start getting overwhelmed because there's so many points and tips that you should be thinking about and being like, oh, I'm going to optimize, but this one part contradicts the other part. Yeah, that's all fine. Look, you're never going to be fully efficient. It's kind of like how we don't have a something that you generate power with that doesn't emit wasted heat. That's always going to be there. But there are ways of emitting power that waste less heat than other versions of it. Yeah? Or like with solar panels. Solar panels, I think like 10 years ago, could only absorb something along the lines of 12% of the sun that goes onto the solar panels. Now I think that we're up to like the high 30s maybe. Look, it's a long time ago that I read that article. It's probably completely off. Maybe we were high 30s back then, and now we're like, no, we do have 100%, so you're completely wrong. But anyway, the point is, you're not a solar panel. So I don't know why I was using that metaphor. But you kind of get where I was going with it, don't you? Good. And if you do, that's why you should sign up to Jordan Shanks. Look, I really want to sincerely thank anybody who has watched this channel over the years. I really do, because I think that you know, as well as I do, having never met you before, that you have improved significantly as a result of having the reminders, of having someone sit there and say, no. Okay? Stop going to parties, stop jacking off as much, focus on the big things. Focus on the big things more. I think we all need someone like that in our lives. So if it isn't me, find someone that does. Find somebody that does do that for you. And the reason that I want this is, look, there's a secondary selfish element to it that I really did get a lot of time to think about when I was gone, which is, look, what makes a good society is, and this is the point of my new stand-up show if you want to come and see it, it's about the Byzantine Empire. So if you like the Roman Empire, make sure that you go to that because you are going to wet yourself. when you learn about the true history of the Roman Empire. But anyway, look, the major point of it is, and I'm giving it away here just for you guys, I think that a society starts to decline when there are more consumers in that society than there are citizens. What is the difference between these two? I think that it comes down to the John F. Kennedy speech. The classic line that he had, which was, boom, oh, I'm dead. No, sorry, that was very disrespectful. His main point was that, look, ask not what you can do for your country, but what your country can... Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Yeah? That's a citizen. Someone who thinks about what they can be doing to contributing to society. And you will have a far more rewarding, enhanced life as a result. You will become a much better person. You will become far less insufferable to be around. I think that you'll just, in general, become a much, much more fulfilled human being if you follow that basic template to life. And you will achieve your goals. Because as Zig Ziglar says, the person who achieves their goals is the one that helps others achieve theirs. Right? That's a very good symbiotic relationship. It is the basis of an advanced society. The idea that there is this state, that everybody is contributing towards this state, and in return, the state is contributing back to them. You be that with, I don't know, police, firefighters, roads, education, hospitals, all that kind of stuff. Yeah? That doesn't just spurt out of the ground. That is a social contract that we have signed. Because we realize that is far better than just living in one of these centaur societies of running through Central Asia being like, yeah, there's another one, yeah, right there, women, yeah. Right? So this is a better thing that we have figured out. Yeah? That's the contract that you need to sign into. I was amazed that I am almost in my 30s and I've never even thought about that for a millisecond. And I constantly skirt around these issues and I do fulfill my social contract. Thank you very fucking much. I think that I've done my little bit for society at this point. Far more than most cunts. Oh, it angers me how much I've done. I really feel like I feel like at the point, you know when there's like a premier that's been around for 10 years, like Mark McGowan's a great example of that, yeah? When everybody just goes, oh my God, he signed up to BHP. I was like, I'm sorry, cunt. Did you give the best results in COVID in terms of least amount of COVID deaths and the strongest economy coming out? Did you save WA forests from getting logged? Did you return extremely strong surpluses after like years of deficit, even though you went through the mining boom and you didn't go through the mining boom, while also upgrading the hospital system, the education system, and building major infrastructure projects that weren't done before? Did you do any of that? No. Well then, shut up. Let him go and have his little BHP advisory board where he does fuck all, goes there, he's like, maybe you should mine more. He's earned it. He's at least earned the blood money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it is very, very, very easy for people who have never contributed shit, who just sit there and complain on the internet all day, to sit there and be like, you suck. And it's like, yeah, but you haven't done anything. You are worse. You are far worse than people that are going out there and impacting people, let alone the very few people in life that have done like a fuckload of public service and at the end are just like, yeah, fuck you, I'm selling out. You know? Like at least, if you're going to sell out, at least earn it. At least earn the position to sell out. And then after that, I can just sit back and I'll say, fair enough. Fair enough. You've done more. You've done more. You've earned your pound of flesh at this point. But the point is, I really want people to get to the point where they have earned their pound of flesh, at the very least. At the very least. I feel like most people just consume, which is the exact opposite of what we were talking about with John F. Kennedy, yeah? I think a consumer is somebody that asks what their country can do for them. Never wants to ask what they can do. But if you go back and look at Friendly Geordies, every single person that I've gone after over the years, they've always just been that. It doesn't matter about their political stripes. It doesn't matter about their ideology. There's just some people in the world that are just here to take. They don't want to contribute. And the sheer irony of this is, yeah, you can take, and you can even profit off of it. But every single person that I know that just takes, first off, they're usually pretty fucking hated, generally. Like, they can sit around and be like, oh, I'm a millionaire and shit. And it's just like, yeah, but what good is that if, like, the only people that are around you are sycophants that just want to leech off of you like you leeched off of society? Because, another big self-help principle, you do attract the type of people that you are. I truly do think that. If you look at my team on self-help, they're all really positive, motivated people. Yeah? Very happy people. Go-getters. Go-getters. Positive, always lifting other people up. If you look at the Friendly Geordies team, they're all people that are burdened like I am with this. Like, I'm going to give back something, like, I feel guilty. It's one of the, they're those people, you know? What you do in life is going to attract people around you that are similar. They'll have similar interests. They'll have a similar way of looking at the world. They'll have a similar energy. They will have all these things. So, my point is, consumers attract other consumers. And the problem with that, like what we're talking about with the drug addict, and then you, for instance, coming in and lifting the people up that are around you, which I honestly think is a civic duty in itself. If you have the ability to walk around to people and you can solve their problems for them, which is what happens when you listen to enough self-help, because most problems are pretty universal. Most people have problems with their relationships, with their health, with their mental health, and with achieving goals. Those are the things that they normally are complaining about. And if you have solutions, and you do get solutions from reading enough self-help, from listening to enough self-help, you do get those solutions. That in itself is a service, as opposed to most people that when you say, like, I have a relationship problem, they're like, yeah, women, eh? What can you do about it? Anyway, pass the shard. Hey, I can even do that here. Look, because I got it as a prop. I can see why this is so popular. So, my big spiel to you is become one of those people that can lift other people up. And the only way that you can do that really is if that you are able to lift yourself up from the position that you are in life. And I don't care where you are, there's always another level. There's always another level from wherever you are in life. And you can only compete with yourself. Comparison's the thief of joy. What can you do other than look at yourself and your results that you're getting at the moment and think, are you happy with those? And the answer always, inevitably, is no, because that is just the inherent nature of human beings. They always want more. But the question is, let's refine what more is. And there's other ways to get more. There's more ways to contribute, for instance, as opposed to take. There's more ways to, advance your intelligence. There's more ways to make yourself useful. There's more ways to get richer in ways that are beneficial to the community. That can also happen. I hate people that are always saying, I hate rich people. It's like, no, there's a lot of rich people out there that have done a lot, and that's the reason that they are rich. It's like with anything. It's like when people are like, oh, I fucking hate politicians. What? The guys that spend their entire lives figuring out how to make a sewerage system that properly works, you hate that fucking guy? It depends. It depends always with these things. So I'm saying, like, if you want to be rich, fine. That's a really good thing. Can be a really good thing because it shows that you've solved a lot of people's problems if you do it in the right way. And you can absolutely have both of those things. I am living proof of that. But I want you now, as the first thing that when we come back, because I know that it has been a long time, and again, I sincerely apologize for it, and I thank anybody that has come back. And if you are here, just so you get a nice taste of what we're going to be doing on this channel all the time, let's all do this together. The classic, the starting point of any self-help journey. The one that everybody hates, the one that everybody shirks. You know what I'm going to say. Write down your goals. I'm talking about the next 10 years. But let's make it in this context, yeah? There's two things that I really want to refine in your head, yeah? Next 10 years, let's try and keep it in that time frame. But I just want you to imagine your ideal life. Just write down your ideal life. Don't do anything. Please stop scrolling on the fucking internet. You're not going to be looking at anything that's more important than what you can be doing right now, which is writing down, ideally, what your ideal life would be. Who would you be hanging out with? What would the people around you be like? What would your ideal partner be like? What job would you have? What would you be earning? What's the lifestyle that you would enjoy? Would you enjoy traveling more? I don't care. I just want you to write down what your ideal life would look like. Then you can get your goals out from there. And even if you are in one of those negative headspaces of, well, then just write down what you don't want out of life. And then you can refine out of that what you do want. But let's start the ball rolling again. I'm really, really sorry that it has been so long. I do sincerely apologize for it, especially because you are my favorite audience. Every time that you guys ever come up to me, You guys re-energize me because you always come up to me with a story about, one that I remember is I used to be in prostitution. Now I'm following the dream of my life, and I started up a charity where they can get all of these health checks that they didn't have before, right? That was one example that I remember. I think she was from Brisbane or something. Anyway, that was one example. Another one, I started up a solar panel business. Now I'm worth millions of dollars. Another one that started like I was a sheep shearer in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Now I'm worth millions of dollars. You know, there's all these people that come up to me. One person is eradicating a huge global problem as a result of this channel. A huge global problem. Lead in pipes. Still happens in the third world. Guess what? He started listening to Jordan Shanks. He's eliminated it out of, I think, 13 countries. It's probably more now because this was about a year ago. He reckons that it'll eliminate lead pipes in the world by the year 2028. It'll be gone. That will no longer be a problem. Currently affecting 75 million. So what, 3 Australias? It's currently affecting 3 Australias. That guy is eliminating lead pipes in the world. This is what I'm talking about. He was an unemployed bum before he started listening to this channel. Now he's doing great things in the world. Then there's other people that come up to me and say, yeah, you know, I wanted to be a photographer. Never really got around to it. Now I'm a photographer and I'm getting all these gallery deals across the world. Like, it doesn't matter what your goal is. It's just these are the tools that get you to that place. Even when it's somebody that's like starting out and they said, I had this piece of shit job that I hated. And then because of your job, your things, I just sat around and realized, fuck, I've just been sitting around wasting my life in a job that I despise. Maybe I should go do something that is going to contribute to the world. Guess what they did? They started up working at a dog shelter. Even when I hear something like that, I'm just like, that's great. That is a great, great story. Because what's happening there? No longer are they wasting their life working at, I don't know, fucking super cheap auto or whatever. They're now doing something that is of great community service, which is picking up all the stray dogs, rehousing those dogs, and in the meantime, making sure that they have a sick life and getting paid for it. What the fuck? Like, look, the problem is when you are in any problem in life, you just keep focusing at the problem. A lot of the time, when you're driving towards a cliff, they always say that the main thing that you should always be looking at is not the cliff. You should be looking, where can I drive the car other than the cliff? But most people just go, straight off the edge. This is why self-help is important. It's to give you these perspectives of whatever you're ever focusing on. The brain just goes, oh, that's a problem, that's a problem, that's a problem. It never, ever thinks about solutions. And there are always solutions to every problem that you are facing, I can assure you, because there are people that have got those results in the world, whatever they are. So, what I want you to do immediately now is let's just find out where you want to be shifting your attention to for the next 10 years. Write down your ideal life. Frankly, I think that you should be doing it every day. It'll inspire you. It'll make you feel good instead of just sitting around on social media. That sucked. Thank you. Instead of that, just being like, wow, this is what my life could look like if I just put a little more effort into these few fields. But we don't even get to that phase now. I just want you to sit there and do something. Please give yourself the permission to do this. There is honestly nothing that is more important to be doing in a day than what I'm asking you to do right now. So please stop this video, write down your ideal life, put on some happy music in the background, do it for half an hour, then do whatever you want after that. But this is what we're going to be doing on this channel. If you want more reminders of this, that's why you got to sign up to Jordan Shanks. You get up to 3 extra videos a week. That's the stuff that I'm reading that week, where I'm just like, okay, here's the good highlights of the book that I was reading this week. Here's the thing of like my, 10, 12, 15 years of notes or whatever it is at this point. These are the main points that I want you to focus on this week. It's the cheapest life coach that you'll ever get. And I can guarantee you from going to a couple of life coaches, I'm fucking better. And I'm way cheaper than they are. They usually charge hundreds of dollars for a session. I'm charging less than a newspaper. So make sure that you sign up to that as well, if you are so inclined. Those are all the links below. Come see my live show. God, it's good to be back.